having one of those irritable days. I've been up since like 4. I was awake, I think, like an hour before that. Just laying in there thinking and thinking and thinking. And then finally I'm like, I'm going to get up and just go see what time it is. Because what the hell, it's got to be almost morning. I'm just so awake. So I get up, I go pee, go in, look, and it's like 3:20. I was like, oh my God, I gotta go back to sleep. So I go in there and lay down. And I keep laying there and laying there and laying there. And Stella actually slept with me. And, you know, she was being quiet and she wasn't whining and crying. So I started trying to get comfortable to go back to sleep. I just could never get back to sleep. And then, you know, I don't know, half hour then, by then she was whining and crying. "Ah." And then it starts like 4 o'clock in the morning. These 2 dogs just like start commanding every moment of my time. Every time I try to do something like work on my crocheting or anything like that, have a fit. It's like 4 hours now. I start feeling like, oh, it's just I'm their slave. Oh gosh, it's a lot. And then if you put them outside, and you're like, well, let's put them outside. Well, then they just go outside and bark. So then you get up every 5 minutes to go out there and stop them from barking, so they don't get shot at. So, anyways, I have so many things on my mind. Before, I was sitting there thinking, like, what do I want to talk about? Because there's so many things that I have going and going and going. I swear, the more time you spend alone, the more you will have going in there. You think you don't have anything. You think it's a lonely place, but it's not. But the thing that is just really getting me is the one person, I don't know their name, who keeps emailing me about this flat earth situation. And I was like, oh my gosh, you can't speak out about anything. You can't say like, oh, I think this makes sense. Or otherwise you get all these people, explain it. Explain it to me thoroughly. I want to see the evidence. I want you to show me evidence. It's like, oh, and I do happen to have that one video that I had done on TikTok. It's like an 8-hour documentary, and I had done it in little segments and put it on TikTok because I found it just fascinating. And this is the thing to me is, like, if you're going in and you're like, oh, I need to go through and debunk all your stuff. I need it. I need to prove that to myself, and I need you to go along with me. I was like, I don't know why you need anybody to agree with you about what you believe, number one. Number two, why would you waste energy trying to get somebody to change their views on something? Number three, why would you go spend time or energy in something that you don't like, you don't appreciate, you don't align with, but you're going to put so much energy into it? Stop! You're going to put so much energy into it. It doesn't make any sense. Trixie, get out of my room. She goes and gets on my bed and goes and sits at that window and barks at whoever's out there. I think it's the wildcats. Not the big wildcats, because they're out there too. I don't think she'd bark at them. So anyways, when I started looking, and there was something else that I remembered, like, I was going to talk about, and then I had forgotten. I was like, oh, yeah, I said I was going to talk about this. And then halfway through, I was like, oh, I forgot to talk about it. So if I come across that thought again, I'll put it out there. But in this one, so when I first started looking, like I said, in the very beginning of my awakening, first I had to go through all the traumas of getting a brain injury. And then you have to rebuild. You have a lot of stuff just to get through the first part. Like, your whole life is flipped upside down. And so getting through that part, and then that bumper to bumper with a divorce. And there was a lot of personal things that I had attached to security, you know? So there was a lot of stuff that just kept being pulled out from under me. Like, every time I would try and feel like, oh, I'm on the rug again, you know, and it was like, it was just nonstop. It was one thing after another of having to face certain things. And like I said, that was like the whole thing about reprioritizing my whole existence. and seeing it in a completely different way. And luckily for me, I did have a spiritual background. I did understand that you do this life after life kind of thing, and there's a purpose. Like, I'm not like some of these other people who, I'll go into that in a second because it still just blows my mind. But so I, each thing was layered with something else. But at some point in my process is when I started seeing things differently physically. Like the sky started looking different. The trees and stuff started looking like three-dimensional picture. Yesterday I was driving, and it's part where you can see like Canadian mountains. It's so beautiful. The huge, big, rocky mountains, and the snow covered, and the way the sky looks, the way it's inverted somehow. It's like the lighter part is underneath and the darker part is above. It's the weirdest thing. But so it had like these mountains that were like way back in the shadows, like grayish with this white tops. And then it had the inverted sky with the lightness behind the mountains and then the darkness above. It looked so fake. It was so cool looking. It was really real. I was like, somebody just put a really cool looking backdrop. But, since we're in the Truman Show anyways, yeah, I was like, Ed Harris changed the backdrop for the day. It was really, really beautiful. It was so pretty. It was a lot better than just seeing the dark grayness that's usually around here. But the inverted sky thing is really weird, and everybody just is like, that's a normal sky. It's regular. Okay. So anyways, when I started awakening to certain things, I started focusing a lot more on spirituality is when I started finding out like how much progress had been made in the reincarnation. It was a lot more accepted. There was a lot more people studying about it and doing hypnosis about it and stuff. So I was like looking up about that kind of stuff, and I don't know where it was where the first thing came up about a flat earth thing. And whatever it was, it seems like it was a video where a guy was just like, I've got a really weird thing I need to talk about. I've really been researching this a lot, and I really need to share my research. And I think a lot of people are just going to call me crazy and stuff. And so I watched his video. It was a really, really good documentary. It was like professionally done. And it was, had so many different scientific experiments. And that was the first time I'd ever seen it, where it was like debunking some of this stuff. Like when you're in elementary school, you're like asking the questions. These people go out and they research the questions. Those questions never left them. A lot of it's just like blew it off. Like, okay, that makes sense, but whatever they say. That's how we learn to live our life. Whatever they say, let's not question it. We might find out they're lying. So anyways, when I very first started seeing it, I started being like, that's interesting. Had never thought about that. And then the more I've seen, the more that was even shown in the Encyclopedia Britannica. And those were the encyclopedias in my house, but they had moved into the education system in the schools, into the globe, because they spent a lot of time teaching us about the globe and clouds and shit like that, the map, Christopher Columbus. But anyways, when I very first started seeing it, definitely was poking holes in, it was like that whole concept turned into a colander. It was just full of holes. And so I had mentioned to somebody, like, have you ever seen anything about the flat earth? Oh, don't tell me you're going to turn into a flat earther now. Oh my God, how crazy are you going to be? Like, I don't know. I just know that they definitely say a lot of stuff that makes sense. And, pokes holes in other stuff. But I just kind of left it there. Just didn't really pay that much attention about it. And had other things I was focused on, like 2020. And then this documentary that had come up more recently, it had already been after so many other things that occurred to show me how much lies and the manipulation and everything that's going on behind the scenes. I started really seeing through the whole program. And then I saw this more recent documentary. It was the 8-hour one. And the stuff that he was showing, like, I'm not going to get all caught up in the experiments, but these people want to just get so caught up in some of these experiments. I don't care. That's your journey. I don't care. To me, what I found quite fascinating in his was when you start looking at the mountain ranges and these giant things, when you start seeing them as trees and you start seeing like the silicon base, and it makes more sense about dinosaurs, it makes more sense about so much stuff, and the mining. And see, that all goes with my inner knowing about aliens and our lying about our history and stuff. But I've had these arguments with people fucking since I was a kid about the fucking pyramids. So yeah, people just can't see it until they see it. I can't even tell you how many arguments I have freaking had with people about aliens. It's like, what do you need? Like, oh, Stephen Hawking said that there's not. Okay, well, I guess then, and then guess he's right. There's no aliens, right? That's it. Stephen Hawking said. I just constantly go back to, where is people's inner knowing? What is blocking them from their inner knowing? Because all you got to do is use logic and your critical thinking and common sense. Like, I don't know. But what was the thing I was going to say a second ago where I said, oh, this is, it's the worst. It just falls through like the little Swiss cheese holes. It was something. Well, anyways, to me, it is a layered kind of situation. That's what I talk about. For me, things are shown to me as they progress. To me, my understanding and my growing is like a flower opening. It's doing its own thing. It's doing it like in a natural way. They bring me information. I look into the information. They bring me information, and I don't go, oh, that's crazy stuff. I'm not listening to something like that. Turn that off. You know, that's what so many people do. They block themselves. So, yeah, I listen to this stuff. I get information. They bring me more information. They show me this. They bring me this. They show me this. You know, it all starts building. And then people are like, well, prove it. Prove it. It's like, prove what? Prove what? You know? You're on your own journey. You are on your own, you know, a seeker of knowledge is seeking their knowledge, their own path. You can go and tag along behind other people. Prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it. I need proof, I need proof. Go find your own proof. You know? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me how you can go and ask somebody to prove stuff to you and then ridicule them and tell them that they, you know, how dare you have a different opinion than I do. My opinion is so valid. It's like, and then how dare you share your opinion? What? What in the Gestapo freaking world is this? Speaking of Gestapo, so yesterday, you know, I went into town and I went to Trader Joe's. And Trader fucking said it right there in the goddamn name. So I go in, I'm just, you know, I've got like 20 things on my list. I'm just scurrying. And the whole freaking reason I went there is because of these biscotti that I like with my tea in the morning. Because I don't know, if your stomach gets upset in the morning by tea or coffee, I think too. If you just have something with it, you know, it absorbs the acid that's in the morning drink while your stomach's still, you know, empty. So, anyways, I like these biscotti. They're just like these little crunchy kind of cookie things. And so I went there to go get them. And scurrying through the store, I could not fucking believe how jam-packed it was. I've never, ever been to it so jam-packed. It was like Christmas at Walmart on Black Friday or something. It was mental. And, you know, nobody's 5 feet doesn't work. It's barely 2 feet. And so, you know, you want to make that a big old thing. because you're going to come walking up and go, oh, dangling a little blue one. Oh, you need these indoors. I'm not somebody who's going to make a scene and start arguing. I'm not, oh, thank you. And put it in my purse and get out the crappy one that I found, that I carry in my own purse for my own desperate moments. Because the blue ones even have a bunch of fibers and stuff, I try and keep away from them as much as possible, but if I go in the weed store, grab one, put it on and go in. But anyways, it was the whole thing, he's the Gestapo around there. It's like, you are over the fire exit, whatever, emergency exit thing. No doubt about it. When people are just lined up waiting to go on an aisle and the aisle's not even moving, it's just a line of people. It's just people, you can't even walk. It's just people everywhere. And then you're going to come up, oh, safety first. Safety first. Fuck off. Fucking God. Well, you must wear them indoors. In your freaking Trader Joe world. Weirdo world. And then they didn't even have the biscotti. I'm like, motherfucker. But I do like the salmon there, though. The salmon is good. So, anyways, I'm really put off from going there. I'm just going to go back to, I don't know. It was a lot handier just ordering groceries. You didn't have to deal with the mental illness that's out there. Just pull up, pick up your stuff, and go. Probably go back to that. But my freaking app started jacking up on that. It wouldn't let me pick a time. It wouldn't let me put in my order. So I deleted it. Hopefully I'll go back and it'll start working. But since the last stupid freaking update on my phone, nothing is working. It disconnected from my car. It won't. It will do a phone call through my car, but it won't do the music. It's just like these stupid, frustrating things. And then I saw a commercial the other day, like, how great old people love technology, how advanced it's become. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was fine with the Yellow Pages. I was fine with the home line. I don't even think, I was fine with the freaking Encyclopedia Britannica. Even though the Britannica were the ones giving us all our information then, weren't they? It's the Google, the Twitter, the Facebook. All these people just want to make reality what they say it is. And all these people are just a bunch of guppies that buy right into it. Like, okay, yeah, well, you don't need babysitters in movies. Why would you need them on real life? I don't know. Why would you? I just see people who are just so disconnected and not focused on reality, like real reality, real connection. Because I can't go back and see the world three-dimensionally anymore. I can't see it that way. And, I don't care how many people come at me like, well, explain it. Explain the flat earth. And I start saying, yeah, but it's all an illusion. It's how you see it. I'm like, well, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense, so please explain. It's like, oh, God. I think you got to go through a couple grades before you can get to my class. That's all I can say. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I can't go back and, I can talk on how I understand things. That's what I can talk about. That's what I can be an expert about, how I understand things, how I perceive things, my insights, what I get to in my channeling or whatever. It's the information that comes to me. That's what I can understand and what makes sense in my internal guidance. That's what makes sense to me. I can't go explain to somebody about that. Prove something. I'm kidding. These people who need so much like proof, and it's the same virtue signaling kind of people. Like, oh, see, I'm a good person. Oh, I've got my passport. I'm a good person. God damn. What really makes a person a good person? Like, really? What is it that makes you a good person? Who is a good person? What is a good person? Do people even think about that? Is that all it takes? Strap one on. Good person right there. Good person. Like, I don't know. This is an upside down world. A lot of confusion. And I mean, I know we're still You're going to flip it the other way, just like how the sky's inverted. Everything's going to go. You know, the light will be to the dark. Nature does show us what's happening. And, you know, it is happening, and it is on a soul level. And not everybody's soul is at the same level. So everybody's experience is going to be very unique. And some people are just learning stuff for the first time. There's stuff I came into this world knowing. People are just now learning. So, I mean, there's something to souls and soul growth and soul experience and all of it. And, you know, as long as people are just so caught up in this three-dimensional existence, like, oh, prove it to me. Like, does Jesus prove his existence to you? Does the God holy above prove his existence to you? Does the devil prove its existence to you? Do the stars prove their existence? Does the globe prove its existence? Like, I don't understand this three-dimensional. It's coming from in here. It's your perception. It's your understanding that you need these structures. Those structures aren't there. They're only there for you. You can't pull me back to your structures. You can't pull me in and tell me to prove your structures for you. You know, I've said since the beginning, when I very first started my channel, I said, as this progresses, everything that you're holding on to in this three-dimensional world is going to be pulled out of your hands. So the tighter you hold, the more it's going to hurt as it pulls away. I have had a very loose grasp on this world, and I've got no problem letting it go. And I don't like to be pulled back into it. And so, yeah, this is, you need to hold on to that stuff. You need proof, you need this, you need that. Like, I need the diagram. I need the, you know, let's build this world in, you know, popsicle sticks or something. Like, it's an illusion. None of it is real. It's all an illusion. So you can see the world however you want to see it, but it's coming from within you how you see it. And if you see it at like a rudimentary kind of level, it's like it's like a caveman or something to me. Like, what is blocking you from being able to see beyond that? To be able to go into reality, to see the world in a supernatural way? Like, what holds you in this structured way of, like, everything is three-dimensional? Like, God gave his only son for my sins so that I could go and be a dick for life, and then I could just say, oh, Jesus, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. Like, I don't know. All I know is that everything comes from within. If you're disconnected and you're sitting here thinking that kind of stuff, you know, you're disconnected from yourself. If you need a third party to get to God and you need to go through somebody, you're disconnected from yourself. It's a direct pathway right through here. So, yeah, it takes each individual starting to break down those structures, releasing, letting go of what is holding you back here. You know, needing diagrams and needing those these literal like you need like a Barbie doll and a Ken doll or something. Like, you need to play it out or something, like, in order to understand it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It can make sense to somebody who's thinking that way, and the difference of how I'm thinking. Because, like I've said about a zillion times, it is when you stop looking at life through the avatar's eyes and you start looking at life through your higher self's eyes, through the controller, through the one who's got the controls, that's running the avatar. When you start going up and you start watching through them, like, and talking to them and spending your time with them, and stop being so caught up in this ridiculous dramas or whatever, and think that they're all real. Like, this is all real, and this is all, like, all life is. This is life. And it's all it is. It's so limiting. Such limiting beliefs. Yeah. And I don't know how to get somebody to open their mind. Open their mind to who and what they are. Open their mind to who and what life is. And open their mind to how special they really are. You know? Comes from within. So, you know, dig deep into yourself. And have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.